early game aggression, that crazy playstyle from Malaysia. And now we'll have to see, what will Malaysia do? Will they try and ban out the priority heroes? Or maybe they're going to try and ban out potential solutions, potential counters that Vietnam can use against them instead.
Yeah, because Joy cannot be played for this tournament. I think, yeah, we have to left Joy out from the ban and pick here.
Unfortunately.
But we will see Martis is not going to be played with Kaja. Kaja, interesting, because Kaja is very, very strong, you know. Its potential to just turn back the table here with the Divine Judgment, with the all maybe setup that coming from the teams. I think it's a good decision from Malaysia to just ban out this Kaja. And no Valentina, no copycat, I could say.
Not yet. Not for now. So for Vietnam, they banned out two very aggressive heroes, both purple. And for Malaysia, banning out the Kaja, removing some crowd control, some wave clear as well. It is a pick that can be used to shut down the very aggressive heroes that Malaysia actually really enjoys playing. Along with that, the Phobias as well.
Yes.
They are a team that likes to make use of their mobility. They like dashing in and out. So that Phobias is definitely going to be an issue, and they do not want to deal with that.
It's very interesting because of the Phobias ban here. It's very unique, I could say, because we rarely seen that Phobias is the prior to be banned, right?
Right.
In Indonesia, maybe we rarely see that. So from the first match, actually, Cambodia also did the same thing. They banned Leomord, they banned Phobias, they banned Kaja. Maybe Malaysia, they also can ban Leomord for this third ban here. But meanwhile, we're still waiting for Vietnam. What are you guys want to ban? It's gonna be Benedetta. So 1-1 could be the first option for Vietnam.
If they let go of 1-1, that's a bit difficult. I mean, Malaysia likes going very aggressively, and against a hero that can kite back so efficiently like the 1-1, that might be something that they don't want to deal with unless they have a very specific plan. They have banned out the Phobias, which is, in a way, in the early game, a bit of a counter to that 1-1. But I don't know. We have to see if Malaysia are willing to let Vietnam have that pick in favor of something better, perhaps. And Fanny will be the option that Malaysia bans away.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be funny. So there will be a contest between Leomord and also, I can say 1-1 here.
Right.
Yeah.
Logically speaking, I think Malaysia would very much prefer to have that Leomord. It's tanky, it's dangerous, and it can do so many things at the same time. And as we mentioned, that flexibility is very usable in the hands of a team like Malaysia's right now. So for Vietnam, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Will they pick that 1-1?
They have to think carefully because Malaysia will take the two OP hero here. So 1-1 is going to be the prio pick for Vietnam. Meanwhile, Malaysia, they can just take Leomord or maybe another mid lane, or first, I don't know, maybe some the jungler here. If they want to use the Leomord in the EXP lane, I think it's quite flex as well.
In the EXP lane, that's definitely a possibility. And for Malaysia, as we mentioned, if they want to be aggressive, if they want to use fast rotations, that mid lane is very important.
Agree.
Whoever's in the mid lane and the roamer, if they cannot match the wave clear potential, it might be very difficult for them to be as active as they want to be on the map. So now with that Yves being hovered on, maybe Malaysia is going for a more calculated approach, but look at that.
They don't pick. I thought that I think.
Wow, curveball.
Yes. I almost, got choked by Malaysia here. But yeah, Leomord and also Eve. Nice pick from Malaysia because, yes, of course, they need the high ground defensive here. If, sometimes if we use Eve, even though we know Eve already got nerfed because the ultimate is already smaller right now. It's rather than before. I think if it's still good option because he has the ultimates cannot be cancelled really easily right now, right? You have a suppress ability to cancel the if ultimate, the revoke manipulation, and Digi for Malaysia.
Digi from Malaysia, and this is very interesting. Malaysia now has a lot of crowd control. They have an abundance of it, and they have already picked away the main counter to crowd control. Digi with the time journey. So now for Vietnam, with the Carmilla, with the Fredrin, they're going to be stuck getting poked around because they do not have a lot of range to work with right now. They have the 1-1, that is the longest range they have in their arsenal. And against a Yves and a Digi, they're going to have to struggle to survive against the poke before even engaging in a fight. And if they overstay, having that real world manipulation as well as Leomord, right? Just jumping in with his horse. That's going to be very difficult, but now we're straight into the second banning phase, Claude as well as Farsa.
Okay, Parsia, I really like it because Malaysia doesn't want to get disturbed by maybe the feather aspect, right? But the problem is Vietnam, they need someone that can jump into the backline and catch this if. If not, it's gonna be maybe a disaster. Especially you don't have the suppress ability to cancel the reroll manipulation. So you need to find someone who can jump into the backline with the high damage and can shut down if really fast. That's the thing. But there's no bad trick as well for Malaysia because Vietnam already secured their 1-1, so the gold lane is already there. But Lapu Lapu is gonna be the shadow pick for Malaysia. No Veramis means there's no long team fight here.
Exactly. No security, no safety
Yep.
for the members of Vietnam. And Vietnam themselves seem to be opting to respect Chiku on the other team.
Yep.
2 gold lane bans to ensure that Chiku will have some issues. But of course, this is Chiku we're talking about.
Yeah,
He
can
might just
play
come
anything.
up with something completely unexpected.
Especially we know that Chiku's favorite hero is Cloud, right? I still remember his Cloud is very, very amazing. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a respect ban coming from Vietnam. And Sicilian is gonna be the high ground defensive coming from Vietnam here. But you have to take a note, Sicilian needs the item
Exactly.
into the mid and the late game composition.
That is the question. Can Vietnam survive the assault, the aggression long enough to actually get into the late game? Now for Malaysia, they're also hovering over a very solid late game source of damage. Either Leslie or the Irithel can both be used to maximum effect here. It's gonna be the Irithel. A lot of ways for them to dodge away from the pickoff potential of the Amon on the side of Vietnam. And on the other hand, Vietnam don't have a lot of answers to the potential for Malaysia to just completely take over the game.
Agree with that. Actually, if you take a look from the draft from both of the teams, Vietnam look very strong because they have the composition in the early game. They have Amon here with the endless shot as well. Especially if you already get the stock, the damage from Amon is gonna be so painful. They have the late game insurance, which is Cecilion, but they have to bring it into the mid until the super duper late game, right? To get the stock, more damage for Cecilion. One man, of course, need to be in the good positioning here, so he won't get caught really easily by the member of Malaysia here. Meanwhile, Caramel and also Fredrin is gonna be the one who stay in the front, who's gonna be the tanker in the front for Vietnam.
Right, Fredrin will definitely be one of the main weapons that Vietnam will use to try and crowd control the members from the side of Malaysia to try and stave off their aggression.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, Momo-chan, in that late game, that Leslie can just one-shot at 1-1. And now here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 between Malaysia and Vietnam. Let's take it away. Chiku guys already in the jungle. Hang on.
Yes, like we discussed about this earlier, right? This guy can be everywhere, Arashi. And it's gonna be Momo who play in the gold lane. Interesting to know. And Yam is gonna be the one who babysit Momo here. Meanwhile, Janard and also it's too long, you know.
It's a lot of hairs for sure. And you can see already the aggression coming in from the Malaysian side. They're trying to use that early clear, and we can see maybe at level 3 or at level 4, they're going to try and make some very aggressive invades because they do have the tools available to orchestrate such an aggressive play. And already, Vietnam just hovering around, trying to make sure that Yoga in the jungle does not get shut down.
Yep, agree with that. So especially, it's very, very important. We know how strong marksman into the mid and late game, right?
Ooh, here we go though. That's a stun onto Chico, guys, but he claps back, and there we go. That is the Malaysians pushing away Vietnam, and Nart is forced to retreat as far as possible in this early game. It's going to be very difficult for him to match that burst potential. And as we already predicted, there's a lot of skirmishes breaking around in the map right now.
Yeah, I really like when it comes to the team fight, when it comes to the skirmish, it's very, very, it's very, very chaos from both of the teams. But I really like how the positioning from Gnard here. He doesn't want to take a risk. He just pull away a little bit once he know that the barbell from Chico guys was cut.
That is what he needs to do right now. And with the turtle spawning I think Malaysia has a chance to force Vietnam into an exchange unless Vietnam wants to go for a bit of a trade right here already. Both teams trying to contest the control, the bushes around the turtle pit, and this is going to be very important to decide who actually gets an advantage.
Yep, and Formace now already leading to the objective, but look at that, the barbells coming from
Ooh.
Chico, guys, and this Silan is gonna be the first victim for Malaysia.
That's a first blood for Chico, guys, and just like that, Malaysia has pushed Vietnam away, and it seems like Vietnam wants to go for more. The turtle has been secured by Chico, guys, and the world manipulation has been used. Amon is able to secure a kill onto the Diggy, but look at that. Unfortunately, that will be one more casualty as the King will get taken out by Malaysia.
The king has fallen, and look at that. Use the flicker trying to punish one member from Malaysia, but he failed it instead because he doesn't have enough damage here. Especially he brought the, the tank emblem here for the king, right? So
Exactly.
not enough damage, and there's still like 3 member. There were still like 3 member in the river just now.
It was very unfortunate for the side of Vietnam because they already lost 1 member and they still went for it despite the fact that we have already mentioned the early game favors Malaysia, but here we go. Vietnam trying to find a bit more of an advantage, trying to trade back a bit of the gold swing, but they won't be able to find it because Malaysia strikes back in the mid side. That will be Need My Help taken out. He definitely needs help from his team right now.
Actually, yeah, he needs help. He needs the rotation coming from Vietnam here. And Todak, they are very, very smart, I could say. Malaysia is very, very smart because they know that this Sicilian could be a disaster for them going into the mid until the late game. So they don't want to give a lot of space for Need My Help. They just straight away punish him in the middle lane.
Formace and Chiku going aggressive on the King. He will be forced to retreat. That is Malaysia just pressuring away, getting the farm advantage. If you look at the gold right now, it's almost 2k for Masada Malaysia, and Joga is not getting any breaks at all right here. But the King goes for the 2-man taunt as Joga tries to follow up. He has the Genius one, so a lot of damage is available, but no, that will be enough actually. Chiku, guys, gets taken out, and this is Vietnam striking back, and Formace might actually still be in the sights of the Vietnamese players. He is 1v3 under turret. He goes in aggressively. He gets taunted, but this is a 1v3 situation. He is still going to get that outplay. Formace right now still in it to win it, possibly getting one more. There we go, double kill for Formace, and he is finally shut down by Yoga.
Oh my god, it's a lot of time has been bought by Formace in the bottom lane. He got 2.
Oof, 2
Wow,
kills.
2 kills for Formace, and you see how confident he is, right, just now?
That Lapu Lapu.
With the Braver Fighter, he goes in. And after that, he punished the King, and he still won more. Look at the replay just now. I thought that he wants to go back after Chiku guys down, right? But I said, no, I still have the Braver Fighter, and I will go for it.
That is aggression coming in from Formace, and he did all that without the Bloodlust Axe. So now, with that build up for him, he will be able to sustain even more, and Vietnam have a problem on their hands as the siege from the Malaysians is just so difficult to deal with because of that poke damage.
Agree with that. Formace with the Bloodlust Axe and also the Festival of Blood emblem here, the spell here. I think the emblem it's make Formace really, really sustain for the team fight. 1 versus 2, or maybe 1 versus 3 in the early. Maybe it's not that, it's not that solid for Formace, but at least he can get and finish the low member.
Exactly. Securing those kills will be very important, but now, look at Vietnam actually split apart, but they are trying to get an advantage. That is the shards coming in, but it won't be enough. Formace with the shutdown right here, and Malaysia is not done yet. One more for Formace. Now with the whip manipulation, it's triple kill, and finally Chico gets taken out in return. But he is the only casualty. That is a wipe out for 1 for the side of the Malaysians, and this is objective gameplay from them right now.
Oh, wow, suddenly all of the members from Vietnam got wiped out by Malaysia just because, no one can take down Formace in the front as the frontliner for Malaysia. And Chico, guys, even though he got a lot of damage that coming from Joga here with the Endless Shard, but the problem is Formace is very, very tanky.
Exactly.
So he held a lot of damage coming from another member from Vietnam. Meanwhile, Chiku can just go out with the barbell.
And this is what is so difficult for Vietnam right now. They don't have a lot of ways to stop the aggression. the Sanguine Claws maybe from Need My Help, but that is the only source of crowd control, and maybe the taunt from the King. It is not nearly enough to stop Formace, Moon, Chiku. So many threats just diving in towards your members, and if you get careless, that is where Yums will pull you back. That's where Momo soon will be able to burst you down with that late game true damage that the last league provides. So now with the turtle, Malaysia will look to go for yet another aggressive play.
Yeah, with the 5k gold lead by Malaysia, I think it's quite hard for Vietnam for now. So they really need to be careful with the initiation that coming from Malaysia. Meanwhile, you will see that Formay will a little bit busy trying to giving some vision, giving some information for Malaysia here, and he knows that there are like 4 members in the jungle, so they don't want to take a risk. Maybe they are waiting for Formay to be ready in the team fight.
Exactly, he is that strong right now. He can walk into the jungle, and look at that, Nart will be the target, and Chiku will not be able to secure that kill. Finally, he will actually. Whoa, Yoga gets taken out of nowhere. That is Formace yet again, making the plays happen across the map. What is going on? Vietnam has no answer to the tempo, the pace that Malaysia is setting for them right now.
And even though Hehe, she doesn't have a chance, you know, to trying to break the weakness point here, get the crossbow of Sang, because he already got the cherry down very fast by Malaysia team.
It's just really difficult because at any point, if you miss position, the root manipulation can be used to engage. You can see Formace just going in with the bravest fighter. And right now, with Formace being so difficult to deal with, they might require all 5 members, and there's no way that they can deal with his mobility and catch him.
Yeah, now you know the reason why I really like Formace playstyle, right? He's very, very confident.
Whoa.
He knows what to do. And look at that, the bravest fighter already pops in, and the crossbow of Tang goes into the Formace, but Formace still able to survive, Archie.
And there is a lot of ultimates being used by Vietnam. Malaysia will try and capitalize, but on the top side, the objective gameplay is still being used. As Need My Help will get taken out. Chiku still on the horse, horsing around, trying to make sure that he gets more from the situation, but Vietnam is forced to adjust, moving to the top side, but there, Momo will be able to pick up a kill, a double kill even. Vietnam, what is going on? They have no control whatsoever in this game.
Oh my god, I think they already confused what they have to do, because every lane is being controlled by Malaysia. Very, very nice, I can say lane management. Yes, coming from Malaysia here. They don't care about the team fight between Chiku guys and also Formace in the bottom lane. Momo just focus on the objective turrets they have to get.
The objective gameplay for sure is very good from Malaysia, pressuring every single lane. And when you have a member as strong as Formace, you can just pull so many people and exert so much pressure. He does get shut down by the King though, so now maybe Vietnam will be able to find something else. A different pickoff as they are scaling quite a bit into the late game. This is still somewhere in the mid game. 10 minutes and 30 seconds definitely isn't that far off. So I think they have to stall much longer for the 1-1 and the Sicilian to get back online.
Okay, but the ultimate snipe was already in use, trying to poke damage, trying to giving a poke damage towards King here, but Hehe needs to go back a little bit here because he's getting poked as well, with the damage coming from Moon and also from Yams with the alarm bomb.
Alarm bombs, Moon with the poke damage, and Momo as well. So now they go with the Lord in Tao. Root manipulation picks one up, mega kill for Moon, and now they go for more. The King gets taken out. No more frontline for the side of Vietnam. That will be the Carmela getting taken out as well, and they might just go for the end after that 1-1 gets taken out, and that is a dominant performance from Malaysia, as expected from essentially the Todak roster.
Agree with that. This is what makes Todak looking very strong, because this roster, they have been together maybe for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 3 years, I don't know. We know this name like Chiku, Moon, Yams, Formace, and also Momo. They never replace any one of them, right? So the chemistry is there for Malaysia, and they know what they have to do. They also know about the meta here, but unfortunately, Vietnam, they came with a good drop, I could say. They have this Ammon for the early game, Sicilian for the insurance into the mid and the late game, but I think the execution is just not there for Vietnam.
I think so. In the early game, Malaysia is just a bit too quick, and Vietnam, they try and get some setups for the A1 in the early game, but honestly, without any good crowd control and against a Diggy to boot, right? There's such limited options for Vietnam to try and get advantage. And of course, that whole sequence of events in the bot side where 4Maze just goes out of control.
Yeah.
I think that was just so difficult for Vietnam to try and recover from because of their composition. They need to play slow. And now we take a look at some of the highlights, Momo-chan.
Yes, this is the highlight when maybe if in the first 2 minutes, we saw that Vietnam, they already lose their 2 members in the first time, right? In the first place. Then after that, after they secure the first turtle, Malaysia, they are very, very confident, especially after 4Maze got the 2 kills in the bottom lane. Even though they lose Chiku, but the thing is, it's 2 for 1. So it's an advantage for Malaysia. They have a lot of, they got more things rather than lose Chiku, right? They have, they shut down Gennard. They shut down the king as well. So I think it's enough for Malaysia to keep snowballing into the last minute of the game, which is it's maybe around 10 minutes.
It's about 10 minutes,
It's
11
about
minutes.
10 minutes, 11 minutes. And they even, the line management is very, very good for Malaysia. We didn't see Momo maybe join the team fight as much as we want. But the thing is, he just cared about the objective turret. Look at that. 3 members in the bottom lane. So Momo and also Yams, they are just focused to shut down. Even Hehe got punished in the top lane. Look at that. And even double kill. This one is easy kill for Momo, right?
2k true damage right there.
I know, right?
Momo.
And unfortunately, it's very, very hard for Vietnam because they cannot shut down Momo. Momo already get the item here. And Yams with the time journey, what makes all the CC, the crowd control that coming from Vietnam is useless. It's very, very useless.
At the end of the day, only the king can be the main front line, and there's just so much burst. You can see it again and again. There hasn't been a single fight where the king is able to actually stay in the front and absorb a lot of damage. And in huge contrast, you can see 4Maze just take damage, absorbing it from multiple members, burning multiple ultimates from Vietnam. And wow.
This is my idol.
Your idol.
My idol from Malaysia is 4Maze, of course, to be the MVP for our first game with a good, very, very good KDA. Even though we know that there's some role changes that coming from Malaysia here, but they are seems very, very comfortable with what they are do right now, right? 4Maze with the Lapu-Lapu, we know with the 3 versus 1 in the bottom lane, and he still got to with that low HP. Very, very nice, but the player spotlight for this game is Yums. Of course, the babysitter coming from DG, right?
Yep.
This is what Leslie need, or maybe not only Leslie, but all the good lane needs someone to babysit them so they can farm really free.
And you have to remember that with the potential for Diggy to just pull someone back, that is what set up a lot of the main kills
the
for the
reverse
side
time
of Malaysia. The reverse time is just very difficult to deal with. And look at that, it's honestly quite one-sided. A lot of 0 deaths on the side of Malaysia.
There's no wonder why actually Malaysia, Vietnam, they cannot do much here. The Vietnam cannot do much because they don't have the dominance eyes. They only have from Gennard, but Gennard need to be there.
Exactly.
To just, hold up the lifesteal that coming from 4Maze here with the Festival of Blood and also the Bloodlust Eggs. Once Gennard down, it's gonna be a free lifesteal coming from 4Maze.
Not to mention, Nard wasn't exactly tanky either. You can see that in 1 or 2 seconds, he gets absolutely taken out. So Vietnam, if they want to go for that late game, they need to be a lot more calculated. Yes, they can go for plays in the early game, but giving up 2 kills to 4Maze like that is not the way to go, man. Malaysia will not let that slide. They will absolutely punish that kind of mistake.
Yeah.
And it's back to the drawing board for Vietnam.
Yeah, I agree with that. Malaysia, they got snowballing very, very fast.
Very fast.
Since I think in the first 3 minutes, I think after the first turtle, right? But yeah, it is what it is. The first game has already been passed, but we are going to move to the game number 2 because it's a best of 3 series. But we would like to say thank you especially for our sponsors and our media partner because IESF 14 World Esports Championship is supported by Wonderful Indonesia, Kemenpora, NOC, and also Koni. And we have a lot of sponsor, Arashi. Thank you for GHL Group, GHL Auto, Nusapay, DAS, Gudang Crypto, Pertamina, Taiwan Excellence, Hydro Coco, IndiHome, Telkomsel, Hin, Episode Hotel, Merisaka, Nusa Dua,
Of course.
where we are here right now. It's very, very amazing. Mineski Global, Indonesia Football E-League, ESID, and also Lemon ID.
And as the media partners which cooperated with Net for this event, there's Net TV, Trans7, Detik.com, Esports ID, Video.com, Dunia Games, Dance TV, Dance Play, Merah Putih, Bola Score, and Kami Bijak. So
Wow.
thanks a lot for helping out this event. We couldn't have done it without you.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
just like that, Momo-chan.
Yeah.
Day number 1.
Day number 1, maybe it's because, first day always like that. Sometimes we see the team who play really, really dominant, right? But after the day number 1, in the day number 2, we will see maybe some of the a little bit tight score later for the game
Closer
for the day
matches.
number. Close match maybe between all of the upper bracket match, and
Oh.
especially because we have the lower bracket, so there's still a chance for all the team who lose in the day number 1.
Exactly. Lower bracket is still a possibility, and
Yes.
some teams, maybe their whole plan is to go into that lower bracket and, try and go for against different teams.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. There's still game number 2 right here for Malaysia against Vietnam.
Yep.
And Vietnam definitely has a lot of adjustments in the book ready to be set out in the Land of Dawn. So for Malaysia, will they go for the same playstyle? Will they go even in the same roles? Because Malaysia is crazy, man. There's no other way of putting it.
They're just too flexible, I could say.
Way too flexible.
Chiku, sometimes he can be the gold laner, sometimes he can be the jungler,
mid
sometimes
lane.
he can the mid lane. Yeah, it's just too flexible from Malaysia, and this is what makes Malaysia looking very, very strong, because sometimes we cannot predict what will they play and what role will they use in the game.
And maybe that's why when Vietnam was banning a lot of gold laners to try and target Chiku,
Yeah.
just like that, just switch it up,
But it's not, it's if we talk about Malaysia, it's not, or especially if we talk about Todak, it's not about Chico himself.
It's about
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah, it's about everyone actually. You look how so strong. For Maze 1 versus 3, you still got 2 with the low HP, and also Chiku going back into the jungler. So it's okay if you ban out my marksman, all of my marksmen, especially Cloud, which is Chiku's favorite hero.
Signature hero.
He will just go to the jungler because he doesn't have a lot of maybe option for the marksman.
Exactly. I think how they want to play this will be very interesting, because for Vietnam, they have now seen what
Oh.
Malaysia can do, right?
Okay.
Because they try to fight fire with fire, and Malaysia shows that, in their own game, in that Langar playstyle, there's
Wow.
no way you can even try and match Malaysia. So will Vietnam double down and go for something similar, or will they change things completely? Because for Malaysia, now they are the ones banning out that Digi.
Yes, interesting. I was hoping, actually, I'm hoping that Malaysia, Todak, they can just take that Atlas, because when you ban this Digi, it means that you want to use that an initiation hero such as Atlas or maybe Kufra or someone else that maybe can give you the crowd control here without any disturbance that coming from Digi.
Speaking of the crowd control, though, Kaja will be banned out, and this time it's from Vietnam, so a bit of a switch up, but they will not let that 1-1 go.
Yes.
It's a bit too dangerous in
It's
the
a bit
hands
too dangerous.
of Malaysia. But that Fanny is also one of the heroes that Malaysia will try and deny. Maybe this time they will play for that gold lane instead. It will all depend on how Vietnam bans out and drafts out the first phase.
Yeah, let's see. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be 1-1. There's still like Martis and also Leo Mort, especially maybe Valentina, but there's no Pulvius. Oh my god, a lot of OP hero.
Oh, as you mentioned it though, Momo-chan, Phobius makes an appearance.
Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, I think the way Malaysia is banning is just very interesting, because it seems like everything serves a certain purpose, whereas for Vietnam, right now as well, it seems to be a bit of a flip,
It's
actually.
a bit of, yeah.
Just a bit. Not exactly completely, but
Yep. But I think Leo Mort could be the first pick for Malaysia. Or maybe it's gonna be Valentina.
Valentina is still open, and Vietnam was forced to pick between Martis or the Leomord. We have seen Malaysia just wreak havoc on that Leomord pick, But now, as you mentioned, Momo-chan, maybe Valentina is a more solid, more flexible option that Malaysia will try and explore. But no, they
No.
like that Eve a lot. I think recently there was a bit of an adjustment as well.
Uh-huh.
The damage, I guess, is still the same. The range also, but the crowd control, I think, was increased. It's a slower for Eve.
Yeah, especially they have the immobilize, right?
And now
Status from the real manipulation. And Valentina, I think if you compare Valentina and also Eve, both of them are very, very good. But Valentina, we know that she has the real world manipulation that can stop the movement they coming from the opponents, right? Meanwhile, Valentina,
she can also have.
she can also have because she can copy this Eve, right?
Yep.
A really good pick they coming from from Vietnam. I really like this Valentina pick, but Benedetta for the backline pressure coming from Vietnam with the actual final blow. So we will see. We will see who will get caught by Benedetta here.
It's definitely a lot more of an aggressive pick. We
Yep.
saw Fredrin earlier, and now it's a Benedetta. Maybe it can still be flexed out depending on what Vietnam is trying to do. But honestly, if they're going to go for that back line with that Petrify, it is something that the King can attempt to do. For Malaysia, though, instantly picking up something to deter that dive coming in from both the Benedetta as well as the Valentina. Ruby has been picked up, and they will opt to use that Beatrix here. That flexibility we talked about for the side of Malaysia is amplified with that hero, with the different selections of weapons you have in your arsenal.
Okay, let's see. It's gonna be Beatrix and also Cloud for the gold lane from both of the teams here, Arashi. It's interesting because we know that Chico is very, very popular with his Cloud, but currently Chico is going to play as a jungler. So it's
Are
okay.
you sure, though?
Maybe, might
Exactly.
be, might be. There's some role changes as well coming from Malaysia. We don't know.
We don't know.
It depends on the coach, right? It depends on the player itself. But going into the second banning phase right now, Vietnam, they ban this Fredrin, and interesting, they can ban out that Atlas as well if they want to. But we know that this Ruby can goes into the AXP lane, right? So it's still quite flexible for Malaysia. But 100% if will goes into the hand of maybe Yums or maybe Moon. I think it's gonna be Moon,
Maybe. Right now for Vietnam, they banned out that Fredrin as well, not wanting to deal with that hero on that Benedetta. It's a bit of a difficult matchup. Of course, crowd control counters these mobility heroes. And from Malaysia, they've banned out that Phoveus as well. So in a way, they countered themselves. But if they really want to go for this Ruby, which seems to be the case, then banning out that Phoveus is absolutely important. So now with one more slot left, it does seem like Vietnam are going for a lot more aggression. And Malaysia, they have solutions here. They have slows, they have poke damage, and they also have options for the close range crowd control, the close range burst damage coming in from the heroes thus far. Final ban from both these teams, there will be the Ling from Vietnam.
Okay, let's see. It's gonna be a Leomord ban from Malaysia. Vietnam, they already banned out this Fredrin and also Ling. So there's no aggressive assassin coming from Malaysia, but they still have Lancelot, they still have Hayabusa if they want to, or maybe if they want to play the Amon from the first game.
Showing
Malaysia
Vietnam how it's
can
done?
Oh wow, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, hey, yo, this is how you play Amon.
Exactly, this is how you get it done. So for Malaysia, it's crazy that with 3 picks on the board, you're still kept guessing what's going to happen. It's not just the heroes, it's also the players. And that double layer of uncertainty is definitely weighing down on the minds of the Vietnamese players. The Grok will be the final ban from Malaysia, so maybe they want to go for a bit more crowd control and get that pick off going. They have slows, they have the Donald Wolf King as well as the Am Offended. They can go for catches, but Vietnam counters with saves. Matilda, with the Guiding Wind, will be available to rescue any poor member caught by Malaysia.
I really like the draft coming from Vietnam, but is it gonna be the Franco for maybe Yums?
Maybe. It's still maybe at this point.
And it's still Lapu-Lapu for Mace. Okay, they have enough CC.
Oh, they have a lot.
They have
of
a lot of
control.
Caesar actually. They have a lot of crowd control here. They have the I'm offended coming from Ruby and also Donra Wolf King that can hold up the movement coming from Vietnam here. And if they take this Franco, it's gonna be a nightmare for Vietnam, especially this Matilda. Even though he has the guiding wind, he wants to
Ooh.
try to run. I think it still can be connected with the Iron Hood coming from Yams.
Right, but now instead of going for the Lapu Lapu, it's gonna be a Paquito.
It's more.
I don't know how I feel.
It's
Like
more scare. It's scarier though.
it's scarier because
scarier.
for Vietnam, okay, he won't be going in. He won't be having those crazy big engages, that kind of mobility. But in the lane, though, the King is gonna be on his toes here. There's a lot of burst potential in that EXP lane Paquito. If it does go there, right there, we have seen both these teams round out their drafts. And my God, it seems like Malaysia, the name of their game seems to be crowd control. They ban or pick the
Yes.
Digi, and they take everything possible. They can just slow, they can stun, they can root or hook the members of Vietnam.
Okay, and the Valentina, I would like to see who will she copy later on because she has a lot of options. She can copy the Eve, she can copy the Ruby, she can copy the Franco as well.
Bit of a
So-
silver lining for the
Yeah.
side of Vietnam.
But the thing, is, I just think that maybe Malaysia they took a lot of CC here, just because they want to force this Valentina to use the IMMU,
Ooh,
right?
interesting theory, Momo-chan. That is
Yeah.
definitely possible.
Because
if you can force your enemies to,
to use
move,
the ability.
exactly, if you can force them to play a certain way, that is
Yeah.
definitely an advantage in your hands.
Agree with that because the scary thing coming from Valentina is the ultimate. So we will see the game number 2, Archie.
Game number 2 between Malaysia and Vietnam. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and we can see, hang on, Chico on the Ruby in the jungle.
Oh, so it's gonna be a Ruby jungler, and the XP will of course formate with the Paquito.
Yikes. This is a very unusual circumstance, but we have seen Malaysia make it work, and you can see in the early game that poke damage and that wave clear is still going to be very much heavily in favor of Malaysia. After that, though, we'll see if the aggressive picks, the Valentina, the Benedetta from the side of Vietnam can actually get the value plays in the early game as Momo actually gets pressured away.
Yeah, and I think Need My Help, he doesn't want to play,
Oh!
going into the late game composition, but suddenly the first blood that goes into the hand of Malaysia with the nice iron hook coming from Yums.
Hey, ain't laughing now. That was an iron hook that just spelled his doom, and just like that, early on, just level 2, Malaysia has an advantage. They're getting a bit of gold from the tower plating, as on the other side of the map, you already see Yoga and Formies just duking it out, but both will be backing away as soon, yet again, once the turtles start spawning, we'll see both teams actually pressure each other to try and get a bit of an advantage.
Yep, agree with that. And it's a bad thing for Vietnam because they lose this cloud, which is really needs an item, right?
Oh, as we say, needing item though, the King actually gets a pick onto Formaze, but
Oh, no.
now you can see Chiku trying and get a trade back as Moon tries to help him out. Chiku will be able to do a lot of damage. The King will get taken down, and Malaysia, they have traded 1-for-1, but they want to go for some more, but that is the power of that Valentina on Need My Help. He comes in, and just like that, Malaysia is forced to back away.
Okay, and interesting because we know how strong Benedetta as well, right? In the early games, he can make some outplay stuff here with the Benedetta. But if he already got ganking by 3 members or 2 members, I think it's very hard for the King, especially if he doesn't have enough ability to run out.
Both teams going for the turtle right now, but the crowd control advantage, as we mentioned, World Evolution is being used by both these teams. And look at that, Moon taking a lot of damage as the King dives in the back line, and just like that, Vietnam will be able to secure the turtle and push Malaysia back.
And this is
Vietnam.
what makes Vietnam looking very strong because they have this Matilda, right? With the circling eagle, with the guiding wind as well, Jennard, he can take out of the member who will maybe looking very low HP with the guiding wind. So escape is there for Vietnam. But the thing is, when it comes to the team fight, Momo needs to be the insurance for Malaysia because only he has the damage enough for Malaysia.
in the late game, they're going to be forced to pick between Moon and Momo.
Yeah,
To
right.
ensure that we'll have to see who actually is the one that is being targeted by Vietnam, because both of them can do an insane amount of damage in the late game. And look at Chiku's emblem though. Just noticed.
Yeah, it's
So the bounty hunter.
yeah, because he wants to get more, money, more item quite fast. But
Ooh.
Yams with the flicker and also the bloody hunter Rishi.
Oh, but the blazing duet being used to counter that play, and now Malaysia is on the back foot as Vietnam looks for more. It's not over yet though, and now it does it that Momo is the one with a double kill, and they will go for Yoga as well.
Oh.
Real world manipulation doing a lot of damage, and the immobilize will ensure that Momo gets a triple kill, and they will come out on top.
Yes, Vietnam maybe got 2 members from Malaysia, but the thing is, it's gonna be a it's triple kill for Momo, which is we know that gold lane is gonna be the the insurance for the mid into the late game, right? And Momo already got the triple kill here just now. As we take a look to the replay, Momo is just so free. Even the blazing duet gave a lot of poke damage just now, but the thing is the backup coming from Moon is very fast as well.
It's very fortunate that Momo was not caught in that blazing duet, so he was relatively healthy. And now Yums is looking for a play. The hook does not land though, and now Vietnam has a bit of control at the turtle pit. Will Malaysia try and contest? They do not have the element of surprise. The King already pressuring Malaysia away. Like the final blaze being used, Moon is forced to back away. Turtle being secured by Vietnam, and Malaysia is forced to concede. But look at that. Formace actually goes in. He will get taken, not out.
Oh,
He
what?
escapes with a sliver HP. And Yums will be able to stop the rest of Vietnam. They get a turtle, and they won't be able to secure the kill onto Formace. What was that? How was that possible?
Look at the outplay coming from Formace with the juke. They're coming from this Mosquito. No one can cut him from Vietnam. How is that possible, Archie?
He was so low. I don't. Wow.
Yeah, I know it's like maybe a pixel HP just now, but
Oh.
look at the bloody hand again and again, Arashi.
With the blazing duet though, that is a counterplay attempted by the side of Vietnam, but it won't be enough. Although the shutdown has actually got picked up by the Cloud, but on the other side of the map, you can see that Vietnam, they are a lot more proactive here. You make a play on one side of the map, we will take advantage in the other. Right
Lane.
here, you can see, destroyed right there. And in the turret though, they won't be able to actually defend. Malaysia goes for picks onto Need My Help, but he is a bit too far alone. You can
Ooh.
see that the guiding wind is attempted, but there we go. He actually succeeds in saving his teammate's life. What a play from Nart.
What is this game, Arashi? It's like 1 HP pixel coming from the King. And, sorry, I mean from Need My Help. And Need My Help still able to survive. Wow. And it's unfortunately maybe because Malaysia, they cannot punish him in the bottom lane just now, because again and again, Matilda with the guiding wind saves everyone's out.
The guiding wind is definitely a big nuisance to a team that wants to get as many pickoffs as Malaysia. And if you look at the gold advantage, it's actually quite even, although you can see that when it comes to objectives, Malaysia has a bit of an edge, and now they have more vision to play around with. And maybe, with their abundance of crowd control, they're going to try and attempt pickoffs in the jungle of Vietnam.
Okay, and now the turtle is already being poked by Vietnam and Malaysia. It seems like they want to try to clear the lane as soon as possible and let the Vietnam takes the turtle objective here.
Wow.
Because they don't want to take a risk. If they have a big team fight with 5 versus 5 team fight here, I think Vietnam still have a chance to win the team fight, because they only have Franco. This is why they have to look out for the
Ooh.
potential to just pick off one by one.
Circling Eagle by Nart though starts to fight, but here Blazing Duet is being used as well, and pure chaos erupts between both these teams as Momo gets a kill, but will it be enough? Both teams still having advantage here as Momo is forced to exit from the fight as Nart is backing up. Need my help. He is full HP.
Oh.
And with the stone, I'm offended. He will try and make a play for Chiku. Chiku though strikes back,
Oh,
tries to
Momo!
make plays happen as Momo secures that final kill. Circling
second
Eagle
eagle.
is being used yet again, but not be able to secure that kill.
Oh my God!
Double kill for Momo as Malaysia once again comes out on top.
Oh my god! What a holy war in the bottom lane just now. I thought the Chico will die,
He was very, very low, but here the King goes in with the final blow. Formace will try and punish him for it. He is still on the hunt, but Yoga will be able to push him away. Both these teams very, very aggressive as the King will be pushed back finally.
Oh
Wow.
my God. I'm so speechless, Arashi.
I'm offended being used right here with that ultimate mega kill for Momo. And look at that. The Blazing Duet actually does so much damage to the 3 people, but Malaysia are able to survive. The double kill for Momo yet again. That's a 3-for-1 for Vietnam. They are making a lot of crazy aggressive plays, and I'm not sure if that's the way to go.
Wow. Oh my God. Now Malaysia, they are trying to find something else here. They cannot do, like I said it earlier, they cannot do a huge team fight 5 versus 5. But they have to do the pick-off strategy here with the Iron Hood coming from Yams. And even with Chiku, with the I'm offended. But trying to catch the King is kind of a little bit maybe hard. But Lord now is already being poked by Vietnam. Meanwhile, Malaysia knows it and they won't try to contest it.
Right, so far it seems that Vietnam has an advantage when it comes to the neutral objectives. Performance tries to make a play happen, but here comes Malaysia. I'm offended to Nart. He will be bursted down, but the Blazing Duet is stopped by the Bloody Hunt. He will actually get taken out. That's Momo just going out of control. 3 members down for the members of Vietnam. With only 2, Malaysia sees an opportunity. They go for the aggressive play and they will take away the purple buff as well.
Wow, Vietnam, it's gonna be a useless alert, I could say, because they lose to 4 members after they got the Lord. And the problem is, like I said it earlier, Malaysia, the backup is very, very fast. And the damage is already there for Momo with 11 kills. What? And also the gold elite, they're coming from Malaysia in, how much, 3K?
3K,
Yeah.
more or less. I mean, Vietnam, they have to try and find a way to get Momo out of the equation. He is absolutely a lot of damage in this fight. But look at that. That's the Blazing Duet being used, but he will actually be able to escape with his life. Manipulation being popped up by Moon to try and get something else, but that is a play being made by Vietnam. And now here we go. Yoga and the King coming in to cut off the members of Malaysia. Chiku as well as Momo won't be able to survive. That's a shutdown. And just like that, Vietnam take the game.
Yeah, I think Malaysia cannot force the team fight right now, especially it's only 4 versus 2 in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Hehe is coming to giving a help in the mid lane right now, but Forme is still able to survive again and again. The Bloody Hunt connects. They're coming from Yums here, but he won't be able to survive too long.
Rune being used by both these teams, but Vietnam eventually comes out on top. Only the King taken out from their roster as the members of Malaysia finally start respawning. But now Vietnam has a window of opportunity to try and get those objectives on the side lanes.
They need this Lord, I think. The second Lord is going to be an important objective for both of the team, especially because Malaysia, they already have like 5 turrets in the hand. Meanwhile, Vietnam, they can try to do the split push here into the bottom lane and also the top lane. And for the items, maybe Cloud doesn't have enough gold if you compare to the Batrix here with the 9.8k gold. He already has the Blade of Despair and also the Wind of Nature. But both of the gold laner already has it. So I think for the physical damage coming from Malaysia, they have to hold it a little bit until Cloud is already being used that Wind of Nature. And the positioning from Gnar, I think it's very, very important because, you know, with the Guiding Wind, it can change it can change everything. It can turn the table for Vietnam. It's still a 50-50 condition for both of the teams. It can be anyone games.
It's still anyone's game for sure, as Vietnam, they have a very huge advantage in the burst department, right? The Carmilla and the Claude. If Hehe and Yoga can actually make a huge play, maybe something can happen, but Nart gets hooked. But the Circling Eagle is being used, and Yums instead will be the main target. He is able to escape with his life, but look at that. Chiku actually getting taken very, very low as Vietnam chase a bit too far. They get punished. That is 2 members down. That is 3 members down as Yoga runs away, but the King tries to make a play happen. It will not be good enough though, as double kill is being picked up by Momo, and Yoga runs for his life. The waves are available for Malaysia. They might just go for the end here, and look at the knockback being done by 4 minutes yet again. Shut down by Chiku, and Malaysia take out Vietnam. They go for the base right here. Minions are available, and that will be Malaysia sealing the deal.
2-0. It's almost a close game for Vietnam, but unfortunately, Malaysia still able to counter it back, and Malaysia goes into the next stage. Meanwhile, Vietnam, they have to go to the lower bracket.
Wow.
Wow.
Vietnam really made things look very dangerous for Malaysia. But in the end, the coordination, the synergy for Malaysia is just too difficult for Vietnam to deal with.
Oh my
That fight
God.
looked so bad for Malaysia until
Yes.
they decide, alright boys, it's time to hit back. And Vietnam, they just start falling apart. That is crazy.
I thought Chiku, oh no. Can you count how many times actually all of the players that are very, very, very low still can survive? For me, it's Chiku. And even Need My Help also has the same thing as well, right? In the bottom lane. But the thing is, I really like how Malaysia, they are trying to go in and go out, trying to buy some time, at least until the help comes from the damage dealer here, right? We know that actually Batrix from Momo already has enough damage here.
A lot of damage.
A lot of damage.
And the difficult part for Vietnam is, right, like how are you supposed to actually deal with this? You go aggressively and they just find ways to try and turn it around on you. They have crowd control to make it work. And even if you don't want to fight, they are the ones with the iron hook. So they have a lot more options.
Agree with that. And actually it was a close game for Vietnam, and Momo become the MVP. He saved everyone though. If Vietnam has Matilda, Malaysia, they have Patrick from Momo, which is the damage. This is what I said it earlier. They have to make sure that Momo has a lot of item, has a lot of gold. He has to get a lot of space to farm, and he did it. Even though with 11 kills just now in the almost in the mid until the late game composition here for Malaysia, but he still managed to find a good positioning. So it's not easy to take down Momo. If you want to take down Momo, you have to go into the backline. It means that actually the king has to do his job, right?
Yep.
But meanwhile, Malaysia always try to find the I can say maybe the team fight or the skirmish without the king. So Momo got free positioning in the backside.
Momo and Moon, so a lot of range, a lot of AoE. And whenever the fight is just so clustered like this, it's crazy because it's actually good for both teams. It really comes down to execution because Vietnam can very easily go for that combo, but somehow, some way, Malaysia. Actually, you can say that it was a bit equal because some of these fights, man, Vietnam somehow also get an advantage.
Yeah, I agree with that. The pick-off strategy, the pick-off playstyle coming from Malaysia is very, very strong because they have two initiator here. They have Ruby, they have Yam. And I really like Yam. When we talk about Franco, we talk about the combo from the Iron Hook and also Bloody Hand, right? But we didn't see it that much in the second game because sometimes he can use the surprise initiation with the flicker and also the Bloody Hand combo here. It's very, I don't know, it works perfectly for Malaysia. Look at that, the Bloody Hand again and again. He doesn't have to use the flicker all the time. Once he know that actually the Iron Hook pops up and connect to maybe the roamer or maybe the XP lane, he won't use the Bloody Hand. Look at that, he used this Bloody Hand once the Moon pop up the real world manipulation. So the combo is there and it's free space for Momo to just shot everyone from the back line.
Malaysia is just so good in these chaotic moments, man. They understand what they have in their toolkit, and the bench MVP right here is gonna be Momo.
Wow.
From Malaysia, not Indonesia.
Oh, sorry, I cannot play as a god laner.